published 2053 est, the 21st of November 2017, updated 11/23 est, the 22nd of November 2017. Two of the world's biggest INXS fans paid $600 to spend Tuesday night in a room they believe was where the band's lead singer Michael Hutchence hanged himself 20 years ago. Aisha Rowlands, 40, and Tess OBrien, 32, tried months ago to book room 524 at the InterContinental at Double Bay in Sydney's eastern suburbs, but were told they could not. Room 525 in what was previously known as the RitzCarlton, next to where Hutchence was found dead, was also unavailable, so the pair took room 523. However, the women believe the room numbers have been swapped over the years and they were in fact staying in the original room 524 where Hutchence died. Michael Hutchence, pictured in 1991, was found dead inside room 524 of what was then the Ritz-Carlton Hotel on November 22, 1997. INXS superfans Aisha Rowlands left and Tess OBrien stayed at the InterContinental Hotel where Michael Hutchence died on November 22, 1997. Tess OBrien has lyrics found in Michael Hutchence's room. After he died, top tattooed on her right breast above the words "to slide away" inside room 523 of the InterContinental Hotel on Wednesday morning, the 20th anniversary of the death of INXS frontman Michael Hutchence. The handle is on the same side as the original 524, Ms. Rowlands told Daily Mail Australia. I think they have switched between 523 and 524 because 524 now has the handle on the right and 523 has the handle on the left. A maid found Hutchence naked and dead behind the door of room 524 about 11:50 a.m. on November 22, 1997. A coroner ruled the 37-year-old had committed suicide by hanging himself while depressed and under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Ms. Rowlands, from Chatswood, on Sydney's lower North Shore, and Ms. OBrien, from Miranda, in the city's south, checked into the InterContinental on Tuesday afternoon. Their stay was part of a 20th anniversary tribute to Hutchence they had planned for months but was also an attempt to solve what they believe is a mystery. Room 524 of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel at Double Bay. When Michael Hutchence was found dead on November 22, 1997, the door handle is on the left. Room 524 of the InterContinental Hotel, formerly the Ritz-Carlton, pictured on Wednesday morning. The door handle is on the right. Room 523 at the InterContinental Hotel at Double Bay has the door handle on the left, just as room 524 did when the hotel was the Ritz-Carlton. The hotel has undergone major changes over the past 20 years. The Ritz-Carlton became the Stamford Plaza and then the InterContinental. Hardcore fans such as Ms. Rowlands and Ms. OBrien have had trouble trying to find out what subsequent owners have done with the old room. It's a bit of a contentious issue as to whether the room numbers have changed. Ms. Rowlands said on the eve of her overnight stay, "We wanted to stay in room 524. They said you can have 523. There has long been speculation among INXS fans that room numbers have been swapped." On Tuesday night, according to Ms. Rowlands, both room 524 and 525 were unoccupied. Tess OBrien has lyrics to the INXS lately and the dates of Michael Hutchence's birth and death tattooed on her body. Among the many INXS-themed tattoos on Mother F-own Tess OBrien's body are these lyrics on her back from "Never Tear Us Apart." INXS fan Tess OBrien is covered in tattoos in memory of Michael Hutchence on her shin. Some of the lyrics to "Beautiful Girl, Look at the Mess Across Your Face, All the Bitterness Has Started Showing." Tess OBrien has some of Michael Hutchence's last lyrics tattooed on her chest. Both rooms 524 and 525 they had shut off last night, she said. They weren't renting them out. We had a good night. We ended up in room 523, but when the pair saw the respective doors to rooms 523 and 524 they began to believe the theory that the numbers had been swapped. It was while in room 524 that Hutchence spoke heatedly with his partner Paula Yates' former husband Sir Bob Geldof on the morning he was found dead. Hutchence had been hoping Yates and their daughter Tiger Lily would soon be visiting him in Sydney along with two of Yates and Geldof's daughters. On the morning Hutchence hanged himself, he had learnt that trip was doomed. Inside room 523 of the InterContinental Hotel at Double Bay, in Sydney's eastern suburbs, on the 20th anniversary of Michael Hutchence's death. Room 523 of the InterContinental Hotel at Double Bay, where INXS fans Aisha Rowlands and Tess OBrien stayed on Tuesday night. INXS fans Aisha Rowlands and Tess OBrien believe they may have stayed in the room where Michael Hutchence was found hanged on November 22, 1997. The view from the balcony of room 523 at the InterContinental Hotel in Sydney's eastern suburbs. Michael Hutchence died in the hotel 20 years ago. Hutchence spent the night drinking and taking drugs. In the morning he spoke to Yates, former lover Michelle Bennett and other close friends. A woman in the room adjacent to Hutchence heard him on the telephone talking in a raised voice with Geldof, according to findings by New South coroner Derek Hand. A statement obtained from a Gail Coward, the occupant of the room directly next to the deceased's room, alludes to her hearing a loud male voice and expletives emitting from the deceased's room about 5 a.m. that morning. Mr. Hand found, "I am satisfied that she was hearing the telephone conversation between the deceased and Geldof. Since the hotel has been refurbished, superfans like Ms. Rowlands and Ms. O'Brien have tried to establish if the room in which Hutchence died was still there." INXS fan Tess OBrien with photographer Richard Simpkin, who met Michael Hutchence as a teenager and became a friend of the rock star. A reproduction of Michael Hutchence's signature is tattooed on Tess OBrien's arm. She has so many INXS-themed tattoos she has lost count. Room 524 of the InterContinental Hotel at Double Bay was unoccupied on Tuesday night, despite requests from INXS fans to stay there. Room 525 of the InterContinental Hotel at Double Bay was unoccupied on Tuesday night, the 20th anniversary of Michael Hutchence's death. O'Brien had hoped their stay on Tuesday night would solve the problem. It did not. "It's kind of confusing because some people say they've switched the numbers around to stop weird people going into his room," Ms. O'Brien said. "But some people say they've kept the same number." A spokeswoman for the InterContinental said hotel management would not comment. "The passing of Michael Hutchence was a sad and unfortunate tragedy," a spokeswoman said. The InterContinental Sydney Double Bay respects the privacy of the family and does not wish to comment on the matter. Ms. Rowlands, who is studying law and has a 10-year-old daughter, met Ms. O'Brien only 2 years ago. Michael Hutchence spent his last night at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Double Bay after dining at the Flavor of India restaurant in nearby Edgecliff. The bath in room 523 of the InterContinental Hotel at Double Bay, in Sydney's eastern suburbs, where Aisha Rowlands and Tess OBrien stayed on Tuesday night. Flavor of India chef Hayat Mohamud at the table where Michael Hutchence ate his last meal. Aisha Rowlands and Tess OBrien dined here on Tuesday night. Ms. O'Brien, who has worked as a nurse, life model and teacher's aide, has a 7-year-old girl. "She has so many tattoos of INXS lyrics on her body she has lost count. I'll have to get Aisha to count them all," she said. Ms. O'Brien said she had been a Michael Hutchence fan since before she was born. Her parents had attended an INXS concert when her mother was pregnant with her. "She died when I was 4, so I feel really close to the as well," Ms. O'Brien said. While Ms. O'Brien loved INXS, it was the band's lead singer with whom she was truly obsessed. "It's mainly Michael," she said. "I followed his whole career, including Dogs in Space and side project Max Q. It's been a very long love of his." Michael Hutchence, who hanged himself on November 22, 1997, with girlfriend Paula Yates and their daughter Heavenly Hirani Tiger Lily. She stripped to the beat but her clothes stay on. Tess OBrien has lyrics to the INXS Suicide Blonde tattooed on her waist. Mother F-own Tess OBrien has so many of Michael Hutchence's lyrics tattooed on her body she has lost count. Pictured her words to Don't Change. What was it about the rock god that would make her embark on a quest like last Tuesday night's? Just everything about him, Ms. O'Brien said. His charisma, his lyrics, the fact that he was real humanitarian. He wasn't just a typical rock star. He was a very good person as well. It's just something that I've always admired. We're huge fans. I'd say we're probably the biggest because there's some people that claim to love him but only like a few of the rest." Ms. Rowlands lives near the northern suburbs crematorium where Hutchence was cremated and helps maintain a memorial there. She also helps run a Paula Yates internet group. INXS and Michael Hutchence fan Tess OBrien at a memorial to the rock star who was found dead in room 524 of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel on November 22, 1997. INXS fan Tess OBrien, who spent Tuesday night at the InterContinental Hotel, has the lyrics to Rooms for the Memory tattooed inside her arm. Bystanders outside the Ritz-Carlton Hotel at Double Bay the day INXS frontman Michael Hutchence hanged himself to death in room 524. She had always been an INXS fan, but it was only in recent years her passion really fired up. "I guess it was when I went on Facebook and connected with a lot of fans in groups of people," Ms. Rowlands said. "I was always a fan of INXS, but Michael even more. I think he's an incredible poet, a rock star with a great voice. I think the whole INXS machine was something special. But he was a great rock star poet in his own right." Ms. Rowlands and Ms. O'Brien began Tuesday night by dining at Flavor of India in nearby Edgecliff, where Hutchence ate his last meal. Tim Ferriss, Gary Beers and Michael Hutchence of INXS perform at Wembley Arena on June 24, 1988, 9 years before the lead singer was found dead. The stump never seems to give time for the human soul. Tess OBrien has lyrics to the Michael Hutchence Way of the World tattooed on her arm, the corridor leading to room 524. of the Ritz-Carlton where Michael Hutchence was found dead on the morning of November 22, 1997. The kitchen of the Edgecliff Eatery, which Hutchence attended regularly from 1991, is still run by head chef Hayat Mohamud, who cooked for the rock star that night. Hutchence dined that evening with his father Cal and stepmother Susan at the restaurant's table 7. The two female fans dined at that table on Tuesday evening and Mr. Mohamud introduced himself. They met another INXS who joined them for dessert. "We had an absolutely amazing dinner," Ms. Rowlands said. Ms. O'Brien was adamant the pair's stay at the InterContinental was worth all the money and time. "Definitely," she said. "It's something that we've been waiting to do for 20 years. It's definitely worth it." For confidential support, call Lifeline 24-hour crisis support on 131114. Room 524 of the InterContinental Hotel, which was unoccupied on Tuesday night. Aisha Rowlands and Tess OBrien believe this was once room 523.